Students, today I am going to take up essay of Bacon. We have discussed about Bacon. Bacon has been a very important figure in English literature who brought the spirit of Renaissance into literature. And his essays have practical approach and they are very scientifically written. The prose style of Bacon is very important. Most of the time, students expect questions on prose style. His prose style is very aphoristic, colloquial in manner, and he has sometimes made use of very, very pithy sentences. He very elaborately tells us about the practical lessons of life. The choice of his themes is very important. He always take up those themes which are of use to human life and especially common man and the layman. And his treatment of subject matter is very scientific. So Bacon's essays themselves are a handbook of wisdom, practical knowledge, and he has been correctly called the brightest, wisest, and meanest of mankind. Brightest because of the spark that we find in all his works. Why is he called as wisest? Because of the wisdom that is contained in his essays. And in his essays are not just about, he does not elaborately talks about. For example, the essay that I am going to talk about today is of nobility. In nobility, he tells us very briefly about the nobles and he tells where they are fitting, where they do not fit, where we should employ them, where we should keep a distance from them, and what intensity, in what manner we should use them or they should be employed, or what are the benefits we can draw from them. He, sorry, he does not talk about it in detailed manner. Rather, whatever he talks about is very concise, is very brief, is very pithy. He sometimes even tells us it in such a manner that his sentences can be elaborated in one paragraph. So this is very important, that Bacon's style is very pithy, aphoristic, short sentences, similes, metaphors, verbose. We can also call it as verbose prose style because he has made use of different words in different essays with the help of which he is trying to reach out to the readers. I will be referring to the text side by side for a better understanding of the students. So, of nobility. When he is talking about of nobility, he starts the sentence with first person pronoun. We will speak of nobility first as a portion of an estate, then as a condition of a particular person. Firstly, he will tell what are the how a nobility useful for state, for the country, for the kingdom, and then how they are helpful for themselves or for other people. A monarchy where there is no nobility at all is ever a pure and absolute tyranny. Means if in a monarchy where king is ruling and noblemen are not there, nobility is not there, what will happen? Then they can rule as they like. So this is pure form of tyranny without nobility in monarchy. For nobility, attempted sovereignty and draws the eyes of people somewhat aside from the line royal. Means that nobility, their intervention helps people to focus upon those works which are helpful for the general class, for the common people. So, intervention of nobility is sometimes very important for the welfare of people. But for democracies, they need it not, and they are commonly more quiet and less subject to sedition than where they are stripes of nobles. So in democracy, they are not required because democracy themselves is for the welfare of the people. For man's eyes are upon the business and not upon the person. In democracy, person is not important. The work done by person is important. So this point has been elaborated here. Or if upon the person, it is for the business sake, as fittest and not for the flag and pedigree. So people in democracy, they do not look at the person, rather they look upon the work done by the person, the business he is doing for the state. We see the Switzers last well, notwithstanding their diversity of relation and of cantons. For utility is their bond and not respect. So in just 5-6 words, he has very concisely given us so much of knowledge. For utility is their bond. For Swiss people, what is more important is utility of these persons, and not in respect. They do not believe how respectable the man is, rather they believe how important work they are doing. The United Province of Law countries and their government excel, for where there is an equality, the consultations are more indifferent, and the payments and tributes more cheerful. A great and potent nobility addeth majesty to a monarch, but diminisheth power, and putteth life and spirit into people, but presseth their fortune. What happens is, if there are nobles, if there is presence of nobility in a monarchy, what will happen? So they will have to spend more money. So it will be a pressure on their pockets, upon their cash. So, and they will not be that much powerful, because they will be, from time to time they will ask the monarch, the king, to to pass on benefits to the public also. So this is how nobility is important. Nobility is very functional for monarchy, but it is not good for monarchs, but it is good for the public. It is well when nobles are not too great for sovereignty, not for justice, and yet maintained in that height, as the insolency of inferiors may be broken upon them before it comes on too fast upon the majesty of kings. A numerous nobility causeth poverty, inconvenience in a state, for it is surcharge of expense, and besides it being of necessity that many of the nobility fall in time to be weak in fortune, it maketh a kind of disproportion between honor and means. So sometime a balance has been disturbed by the presence of nobility between honor and means the honor of the person becomes weak. How? There is a very common proverb, students. The proverb says, uh, the heroism of a person dies when we come closer to him. Similar is the case with villainy. What does it mean? Pay attention once again. The heroism of a person dies when we come close to him. Similar is the case with villainy. Means that the heroism, similarly, when king will be when there will be interference of nobility in the works of king, so the honor, so sometime people will know the intention of the monarch also towards themselves, and they will also come to know about the role of nobility. So that balance that the king wants to maintain between his honor, if there will be absence of nobility, more honor, more wealth. But if nobility is there, honor sometime is at stake, and means have to be spent. As for nobility in particular persons, it is a reverent thing to see an ancient castle or building not in decay, or to see a fair timber tree sound and perfect. So nobility here has been compared to a castle. So if there is a castle and king doesn't pay attention to it, it will fall down. But if there is presence of nobility, that will be maintained. So this is the role done by nobility. How much more to behold an ancient noble family which had stood against the waves and weathers of time. So those nobles who are truly nobility means who truly stand for a person against the will of the king and the power. So they need to behold. How much more to behold? Look, he is even posing questions to the readers. So rhetoric, this is called the rhetoric technique. So rhetoricism is also there. Rhetoric technique is also employed by Bacon in order to make his case stronger. Those that are first raised to nobility are commonly more virtuous but less innocent than their descendants, for there is rarely any rising but by a commixture of good and evil arts. So, those who have come first, those who are naturally, they are more stronger, while that class of nobility which has been nurtured, made up, so that will be a mixture, and in mixture we always find good as well as bad, evil. But it is a reason the memory of their virtues remains to their posterity, and their faults die with themselves. Nobility of birth commonly abateth industry, and he that is not industrious envieth him that is. Means those people who are not in hardworking themselves, they do not like other nobles to be hardworking. Besides, noble persons cannot go much higher, and he that strandeth at a stay when others rise can hardly avoid motions of envy. So the point here is he is bringing the essay to the conclusion that if a person is not true to the work of nobility, what will happen? He will not rise, he will not flourish, he will not be progressive, he will stay there only. And when he will see other people rising with the help of the false mean or the wrong path taken by them, so what will happen? No doubt they will feel jealous of those people. He is concluding it like this: on the other side, nobility extinguisheth the passive envy from others towards them, because they are in possession of honor. Certainly. Look at the choice of the word. However, certainly. So Bacon is writing as if he is talking to us, as if he is delivering some lecture, as if he is providing some practical knowledge to us. Certainly, kings that have able man of their nobility shall find an ease in employing them. So those people who have able man, who have good nobles, so they can very effortlessly employ them, use them, and a better slide into their business, for people naturally bend to them as born in some art to command. So those people who know how to employ the nobility and where to employ, those kings naturally are benefited, and they are truly truly getting something for their benefits from the nobility. So this is what he is talking about. Similarly, he has also talked about an essay of ambition. In what degree ambition is required, where ambitious people have to be employed. So again, we will discuss some other topics, other essays